Lately, plug-in hybrids have been getting a lot of attention in the Philippines, thanks to crossovers like the Sealion 6. For a while, it was unique at the price, but now there is competition. This is the Jetour X70 PHEV. Is it worth your money? Let's find out.
This is the Jetour X70 IDM Lightning PHEV. Now, this is currently the most affordable 7-seater plug-in hybrid that you can buy in the Philippines. It sells for only about 100,000 pesos more than the Sealion 6, but this one comes with third-row seats. It is a hybrid, so it has both a gasoline engine and electric motors. It's powered by both fuel and electricity. But the difference between a plug-in hybrid and the regular hybrid is that this one comes with a power outlet. So you can charge this from an external source.
And the good thing about having external charging as an option is that fuel use becomes optional. If you keep the battery charged, you don't have to use any fuel at all. So you can use this as a pure electric car. But you also have the engine as backup. If you forget to charge the car before leaving, the engine can take on the charging duties for you. Luckily, the X70 PHEV does have a pretty good EV range.
It has a 19.4 kilowatt-hour battery, which is good for 110 kilometers of range. The total claimed range, that is the range of the car when using both fuel and electricity, that is 1,200 kilometers, which again is a bit more than the claimed range of the Sealion 6.
Now, this particular unit comes with a GBT charging port, which is the standard that they use in China. But according to Jetour, the final units will come with Type 2 charging ports, which is the more popular type of charging port here in the Philippines.
So this is powered by a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine and an electric motor. The combined power output is 266 horsepower and 395 Newton meters of torque. That is more than the Sealion 6.
The drive motor of the X70 PHEV is sandwiched in between the engine and the dedicated hybrid transmission. Power is sent exclusively to the front wheels. According to Jetour, it can do 0 to 100 kph in just 7.7 seconds. The X70 PHEV also supports V2L, which can provide up to 6.6 kilowatts of power for your devices or your appliances.
The X70 Lightning is a mid-size crossover. It is longer than the Sealion 6 to accommodate the third-row seats. I don't have the exact dimensions memorized. You'll find them somewhere over there. Now, in terms of styling, it looks similar to the previous X70 Plus, but it has a more aggressive-looking front fascia. Like the headlights look similar, but you have this brow ridge now, which extends over the headlamps, giving the car a more angry look. The grille looks more aggressive. It's mostly black with little chrome accents over here. It extends all the way down there. You have a front lip over there for a sportier look. This comes with 19-inch wheels wrapped in 55 series Sealion tires. You have disc brakes in all 4 corners, and you also have independent suspension on all 4 corners. Now, of course, you have power folding side mirrors. You have repeaters over here, and you also have a camera down here. You have functional roof rails. Here at the back, you get an LED light bar with a Jetour logo at the center. You have the spoiler with an integrated third brake light. You have an unpainted flat black plastic bumper with faux diffusers down there. And of course, it comes with a power liftgate. With the third row seats up, you have just about enough space there for a backpack and maybe a small luggage bag.
Fold down the third row seats and the space expands by a lot. And if you fold down the second row seats, you have a completely flat loading floor with enough space to load even a medium-sized refrigerator. There's definitely enough space here for our sponsor for today. Introducing the Atto Sport Mobility Scooter, the world's most innovative mobility scooter. It folds into a small suitcase size and it has wheels so you can move it around like a trolley. It separates into 2 parts. It has leather seats and grips, an illuminated LCD dashboard, enhanced lighting for extra visibility. You can install optional armrests. It's perfect for seniors as it's easy to lift and unfolds in seconds. It has a maximum speed of 10 kph, shock absorbing flat free tires, high ground clearance, advanced braking system, be free to travel anywhere, land, sea or air. It has 20 kilometers of continuous driving range. Engineered with flair, designed with passion for performance. Be active, be free, be yourself. Atto Sport, moving life. The interior of the X70 PHEV is very premium for the price. First off, you have this maroon and black color scheme. It also has a tan and black color scheme. Now this color scheme is available for the darker colored models. I would say that I prefer this interior color. It's not a loud shade of red. It's more like maroon or burgundy, almost brownish. So yeah, you have different materials here, different looking accents. Like this over here looks like it's made of aluminum. You have this aluminum looking accent over here. You have a decent amount of piano black accents, which I know not a lot of people like. In terms of materials, almost everything is covered in soft touch material. Like this over here is leather wrapped. This is soft touch right here. The sidings are soft touch. This is soft touch, soft touch. This is leather wrapped over here. This is leather wrapped. Even these parts over here are leather wrapped. Of course, you have a leather wrapped armrest, a leather wrapped steering wheel. You have leather wrapped seats, and the controls for the seats are not over here where you can barely see them. They're actually on the door sidings over here. So this is for reclining the seat. This is for moving it forward and back. You also have your seat heating and seat cooling buttons over here. You have 3 levels for heating and cooling. You also have the same controls on that side. And this comes with butterfly headrests, which cradle your head quite nicely. So when you fall asleep, your head doesn't sway side to side. You have multiple screens here. Of course, you have your instrument cluster, your infotainment screen, and another screen over here for your climate control settings. You have a physical temperature and fan speed knob. This is also a touchscreen over here that's dedicated for just the climate control. You have your different aircon modes there, air quality, seat temperature controls. Oh, you can use the knobs to adjust the seat temperature. So the display at the center changes depending on which page you're at. So here at the seat temperature controls, the icon here changes to your seats. So you use the left knob to adjust the temperature on the driver's seat and the right knob to adjust the temperature on the passenger seat. Also unique is that you have a total of 5 aircon vents here at the front. You have 3 aircon vents at the center. You have a wireless phone charger here with ventilation so your phone doesn't overheat. In terms of storage, the glove box is pretty big. It's also dampened. You have quite a bit of storage underneath the center armrest over there. You have a bit of storage underneath the center console. You also have your USB ports down there. You have 2 USB ports down there, 1 USB-A port, 1 USB-C port. Your 12-volt outlet is on the other side over here. You have this 10-inch infotainment screen. Yeah, it's smaller than the screen of the Sealion 6. Currently, this unit does not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but if you buy the car, it should come with a dongle that supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have a fully digital instrument cluster here. Yeah, you have your battery indicator here and your fuel gauge over here to the left. You have 3 different drive modes. You have Sport, Normal, and Eco. Now you have buttons here on the steering wheel, which is par for the course in the segment, but you also have touchpads. So as you can see, this one on the left is a touchpad. If I move my finger here, it moves the cursor on the screen. Yeah, so you can move it in every direction, up, down, left, right. You also have another touchpad here on the left, and this is for your instrument cluster. So our average fuel consumption is 3.8 liters per 100 kilometers. That's very good. Okay, so here at the second row, space is quite adequate. I have the front seat adjusted to my height. I still have about 6 inches of knee room here. You got 2 aircon vents back here, 1 USB-A port, 1 USB-C port. You also have a foldable armrest with 2 cup holders. The materials here are a bit harder. Like this over here is not soft touch. This is hard plastic, but this is still leather wrapped over here. This is leather wrapped. You have this aluminum looking accent here. You also have map pockets on both front seats. And the flooring is almost completely flat. To access the third row, just pull on this lever over here and move the seat forward like so. Now this is going to be tricky for those who are a bit on the heavier side like me. Oh. Okay, so surprisingly the third row seat is pretty low. Yeah, it's very low actually. And the flooring is pretty high. So my knee is actually at a pretty sharp angle, as you can see. It almost feels like I'm squatting back here. Currently, I don't have much knee room, as you can see, but the second row seat can be moved forward and back. Now, there are no aircon vents back here. You do have 1 power outlet over here, and that's about it.
The X70 PHEV feels very much at home on the highway. It is very composed and very quiet at high speeds. The steering wheel stiffens up, giving you a better sense of stability. And its many ADAS features like adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist reduce driver fatigue by a lot. Its 110km EV range can cover a good portion of a road trip to Subic or Clark. And if you can charge along the way or at your destination, you could cut down on fuel costs or even eliminate them entirely. Asaya Beach Resort is one of my favorite resorts in Subic. They have excellent views, lots of water activities, and they have one of the best infinity pools that I've seen in Subic. It's a 160km or 3-hour drive from Manila. That's quite a long drive, but a small percentage of the X70's 1,200km total range. With 110km of EV range, you can drive to Asaya using mostly electric power as long as you drive conservatively. When you get to Asaya, they have charging ports there so you can fully charge your car while you're checked in. And then you have another 110km of EV range again on the way back. Fully charging your car both ways gets you 220km of total EV range, which covers about 68% of your total trip back and forth. The X70 PHEV is no sport crossover, but it drives pretty well for what it is. Steering feels relatively quick and not as numb as the previous X70 Plus. Suspension tuning is pretty good. It handles body roll really well, but still provides good ride quality. It's also quick. It's quicker than the Sealion 6. It can do 0 to 100 kph in 7.7 seconds. Although, like a lot of electrified vehicles, the power goes down with the battery level. So this is my 0 to 100 time with the battery at less than 20%.
Okay, so we're almost out of battery power.
And this is my 0 to 100 time with the battery almost depleted.
A lot slower now. We are almost... The battery power is almost empty. Okay, we put it back in eco. That was a lot slower. Obviously, the acceleration would depend on the battery power level. Because you're using both gasoline and electricity. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to do a test with a fully charged battery, but that's something that we can do in the future. In the meantime, we can trust Jetour's official 7.7 second time. Just one complaint about the car. A lot of the controls are on the screen, which is expected of a lot of Chinese crossovers, but a lot of essential functions like shifting from sport to eco, you have to go through the screen. Like, you have to swipe down first and then put it in eco mode, press eco, and that's too many steps if you're driving the car, but that might be something that you'll get used to eventually. Yeah, the steering ratio is just right. I didn't have to go all the way here to turn the car. So how does the X70 PHEV compare to the Sealion 6? The Sealion 6 has its advantages. Like, it has bigger and better screens, it has built-in wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it also has a slightly lower price. On the other hand, the X70 Plus also has its advantages. It has third-row seats, which could be a major deciding factor for those with bigger families. It's also quicker and more powerful than the Sealion 6, and it comes with DC charging, although currently it's in GPT format. Anyway, the best choice depends on your needs, but both are very good cars in their own right. Now, some details about the X70 IDM may still change before its official launch at MIA's, but based on what I've seen so far, it looks very promising.